A statistician by qualification, Agbede Oluwaseyi has evolved to becoming a resourceful educator. His journey into the world of knowledge transfer started in his National Youth Service days, where he served his nation as a mathematics teacher. He soon realized his newfound love of building and molding the minds of future leaders and decided to pitch his tent there. He obtained a BSc in mathematics from the University of Lagos and also has a postgraduate degree in the bag. He is presently running an MBA degree program with the University of Lagos and is the co-head teacher at the Meadow Hall Junior School, Lekki, Lagos. He is focused and self-motivated and has a passion to use education as a tool for societal transformation. His desire to see young children learn has driven him to continually seek 21st century pedagogy. His strong background in statistics and the use of numbers laid an indispensable foundation in his extensive analysis and use of data for educational improvement by educators at all levels. As a lifelong learner, he has always been passionate about professional development, and this has seen him become a regular trainer and facilitator in several capacities, including educational conferences such as the annual Meadow Hall EduCamp held in Lagos and Port Harcourt, which hosts hundreds of professionals yearly, just to mention a few. He has also served as a human capacity development consultant with a number of educational institutions, such as the Lagos State Ministry of Education, Ready Set Work Initiative, Okma International School, Port Harcourt, Kids Station School, Lagos, and many more. Taking a look at education as a tool for societal transformation, ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the host and convener of the Impact Educators Conference, Mr. Oluwaseyi Agbede.
Okay, good day everyone, and you're welcome. My name is Sheyi, and today I'll be talking to you about using education as a tool for societal transformation. Using education as a tool for societal transformation. And our objectives for today are, number one, we'll be looking at the vision. What is the vision? We'll also be looking at how education can help to achieve this vision that we're talking about. And then lastly, what is the role of Taysey Consult in achieving this vision? Why has this been set up? Why are you here today? That's what we are trying to find out right now. So, to get started, let's take a look at what education is. So, what is education? Now, I have here a few definitions of education, and I think we should just go through them very quickly. The first one says, education is the process of receiving or giving systematic instruction, especially at a school or a university. Very good definition, very basic and simple definition. The second definition says, education is the process of facilitating learning or acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habits. This particular one was pulled from Wikipedia. Very interesting definition. I have another one here. It says, education is the act or process of impacting or acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers of reasoning and judgment, and generally of preparing oneself or others intellectually for mature life. I quite liked this particular definition. This is from dictionary.com. So these are some definitions for education, and I'm quite sure you have your own definitions of education as well. The next thing we're going to be looking at is the vision. The vision. Now, some years back, I met a man, a very well-known man in this country, who is a transformational leader, and his name is Fela Durotoye. Now, he shared a particular vision with me. A couple of months after that, I met someone else as well. His name is James Abiona, who shared a vision with me as well. Now, incidentally, he shared the same vision shared with me by Fela Durotoye. And in fact, he said not just him and Fela have this vision, that this vision was given to 10 individuals that he was aware of in the year 2005. Now, who were these people that had this same vision with them? So we have Taiwo Odukoya, a very renowned preacher in Nigeria. We have Sam Adeyemi, very respected preacher in Nigeria as well. We have Leke Alder, one of the phenomenal speakers in Nigeria, and then we have Lanre Olushola. Let us leave it there for now. So these people were given a particular vision in 2005. And what was this vision? To make Nigeria one of the most desirable nations to live in come Wednesday, the 31st of December 2025. It was supposed to be a 20-year vision. What a vision. When I heard this vision, it resonated with my soul and my entire being immediately. So I began to think, how can we get to use this tool called education to achieve this vision? A man named George Barna, he defined vision as vision being foresight based on insight with the benefits of hindsight. I'll take that again. It says vision is foresight based on insight with the benefit of hindsight. So if we want to know how to achieve our vision in the future, we need to go back to the past. Where are we coming from? How did we get here? What can we do better now to ensure we achieve this vision in the future? So let's go back through the memory lane and go through some history. We have what is called the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution. So what is the Industrial Revolution? The Industrial Revolution was a transition to new manufacturing processes in the period from about 1760 to sometime between 1820 and 1840. This process began in Britain in the 18th century, and from there it spread to other parts of the world. And so, countries that were advanced in this area in terms of industrial revolution were dominating the world economic power. So you had countries like Great Britain, like Germany, like the USSR in those days. These people dominated the world. Why? Because they had the big machines, they had the tanks, they had the economic power to dominate the world. As a result of the heavy machinery that they had, they needed to run this machinery on power. And then we discovered what was called fossil fuels. So, what are fossil fuels? Petroleum became a major industry following the discovery at the Oil Creek in Pennsylvania in 1859. For much of the 19th century and the 20th century, the US was the largest oil-producing country in the world. As of October 2015, the US was the world's third largest producer of crude oil in the world. One other country took advantage of this dominance in oil. With a maximum crude oil production capacity of 2.5 million barrels per day, Nigeria became Africa's largest producer of oil and the sixth largest oil producing country in the world. Now, what this meant was that Nigeria, alongside other countries that were dominant in the oil production sector, began to climb the economic scale because they had what everyone needed: oil. But then, something else happened again. We were faced with the information age. The information age. So, what is the information age? The information age is also known as the computer age, the digital age, or the new media age. This is what the information age is. It is a period in human history characterized by the shift from an economy based on industrialization, like we had in the industrial era, to an economy based on information, like we have in the information age. When we had the industrial era, the countries and companies that were vast in industrial resources, such as petroleum, fossil fuels, were the ones dominating the economic power of the world. But when we had a shift to the information age, countries and companies advanced in this area now dominated the world economic scene. Let us take a look at some of these companies that have taken advantage of this information age. A study was carried out in the United States to look at the 10 most profitable nations in the world in 2020. Now, they looked at their estimated income in 2020. Let us take a look at what it looks like. Number one on that list was, yes, Apple. Apple is estimated to make $58.1 billion in 2020 alone, despite the pandemic, which ranks it as the most profitable company in the world. What are they into? You guessed right, IT. Second on that list was Microsoft. Microsoft is estimated to make $42.9 billion in 2020, making it the second most profitable company in the world. What are they into? IT. Third on the list was Google. Now, Google is estimated to make $38 billion in 2020 alone, ranking it as the third most profitable nation in the world. What are they into? Yes, IT. Now, the list goes on and on. The sixth on that ranking was AT&T. AT&T. Now, what are they into? They're into telecommunications, and they're estimated to make $25.9 billion in 2020. Isn't this very interesting? The list goes on. On that same list, the eighth company on that list is Facebook. Well, yes, Facebook. Now, Facebook is expected to make $25.7 billion in 2020, ranking it as the eighth most profitable company in the world. What are they into? Information. They don't even have any content. All they do is provide a platform for you to drop your content, and they're raking in the money. Let's take a look at some more of them. Now, in 10th position on that particular list is a company called Verizon. Verizon is anticipated to make $20.5 billion in 2020. This is very interesting. Let's look at other companies as well that are also raking in huge sums in 2020. Next I'll look at is Amazon. Amazon is an online retail platform, and they're estimated to make $10 billion in 2020. We have some other companies as well. Take a look at HP. We all know HP raking in millions and billions of dollars every year. The next I'll look at is Twitter. Now, Twitter is anticipated to make $6 billion in 2020 alone. What are they into? Information. They've just created a platform for you to share your thoughts and ideas, and they're raking in all this money. Another company I'll look at is Snapchat. Same thing, a platform for you to chat and have fun. Now, you might think these are all companies in the Western world that are doing great because they are outside there. Let us come back home and look at another company that is raking in money from information as well. Yes, you guessed right, Linda Ikeji. Right now, she is a billionaire. Well, at least in Naira. So, we have seen how information is dominating the world economic power. So I did some more research. Let us look at what is called earning power. Earning power. Earning power refers to the relative ability of an individual or an organization to command earnings in return for goods or services. That is what earning power is. A research was conducted in Nigeria that looked at the earning power of Nigerians vis-a-vis their educational qualification. Let's take a look at some of the findings of this research. It was done in 2014, and it says that for Nigerians that had the school leaving certificate, they had the earning power of between 8,000 and 15,000 naira. Now, remember, this is just an average. It doesn't mean everyone in that category earned this amount. But what the research said was people within this category had the opportunity, had the earning power to earn between 8,000 and 15,000 naira every month. Let's take a look at others. So for those with the O levels and the WASSCE had the earning power of between 12,000 and 25,000 naira per month. Now, those that had the BSc, the HNDs and the likes had the earning power of between 40,000 and 80,000 naira per month. And then the last category that was looked at were those that had MSc, postgraduate degrees, had the earning power of between 80,000 naira and 120,000 naira. Let us take a look at something else again. It is called per capita income. Per capita income. What is per capita income? Per capita income is calculated by dividing the area's total income by its total population. That's how per capita income is calculated. Think of a nation like Nigeria with the kind of population we have, about 200 million people. So if our entire income is divided by our population, we probably will be having a very, very low per capita income. But then again, we've seen countries that have vast population like this, but are using it to their advantage. We've seen countries like China and India that have very high per capita income as well. So right now, let's take a look at some figures about per capita income of different countries in the world. As at 1950, this is what the per capita income of countries looked like. Top on that list was the United States. Yes, the United States. And then we had Switzerland, we had New Zealand, we had Venezuela, Australia, Canada, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, and then the 10th highest in the world then was Belgium. Take a look at Nigeria. Nigeria was 48th in the world as at 1950. Very good. This was the time where we had the agricultural boom, close to the period where we had the oil boom. So we had a good per capita income as at this time. Now, let's fast forward a few years down the line. This is what it looked like as at 2016. So as at 2016, number one was Luxembourg. Second, Switzerland. Then you have Norway, then Ireland, then Qatar, Iceland, United States, Denmark, Singapore, and then the 10th was Sweden. Now, take a look at Nigeria as at 2016. Nigeria has dropped to 130th in the world from 48th as at 1950. What is going on? Let's look at what it looked like a year after that in 2017. So, this is what it looked like as at 2017. Number one is Qatar. Second, you have Macau, then Luxembourg, and then Singapore in number 4. Then Brunei, then Ireland, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Switzerland, and San Marino. Nigeria, now 131st in the world, dropped even one step further. So, what is going on with a nation like Nigeria dropping from about 48th in the world to right now 131st in the world, and a country like Singapore that was not even part of the top 60 as at 1950 now being the 4th highest in the world? So I took a particular interest in Singapore. I wanted to find out what are they doing compared to what Nigeria is doing. Let's look at some facts and figures. Nigeria versus Singapore in terms of per capita income. Let us see what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Now, it is very, very difficult to get facts and figures concerning Nigeria. That's an area we need to improve on in this country. So I wasn't able to pull out anything from before 1992. So let us start from 1992, where I was able to get some figures for Nigeria. As at 1992, Singapore had a per capita income of 16,135. What this meant is, on an average, everybody in Singapore earned $16,135 in a year. Now, compare that to Nigeria, which had $546. Wow. Now, in 1995, Singapore jumped up to $24,936. Nigeria also more than doubled to $1,273. But you can still see there's still a wide gap. Now, in 1998, there was an Asian economic meltdown, and we can see Singapore dropped to $21,825, while Nigeria rose to $1,861. Fantastic. In 2000, Singapore dropped slightly further, still in the range of $21,000. Take a look at Nigeria. We have crashed by more than half, now ranging around $598. Wow. In 2004, Singapore has risen up to $27,404 and Nigeria is averaging $983. What is going on? In 2007, Singapore had jumped up to $39,223. Nigeria is only $1,822. And it goes on and on and on. In 2013, Singapore is now at $55,617. Nigeria recorded its highest so far in 2013 at $3,042. $3,042. And then in 2017, the most recent I was able to pull up, Singapore is now at $56,746. Nigeria has crashed again to $1,969. What is going on with this nation called Nigeria? I did a bit more research into what could cause this, and I looked at what was called literacy rates. Literacy rate. So what does this mean? The literacy rate refers to the percentage of adults between 15 years and above that have an education, that can read and write. That's what literacy rate is. So let us compare the literacy rate between Nigeria and Singapore. In 1991, this is what the literacy rate looked like. Nigeria had 55% and Singapore had 89%. So what this meant was 55% of every adult in Nigeria, 15 years and above, could read and write, had some level of education. While in Singapore, 89% of their population, 15 years and above, had this ability to read and write. Look at what it looked like in 2003. In 2003, Nigeria maintained its level of 55%. Singapore has moved up, 93%. In 2008, Nigeria has also increased from 55% to 60%. Fantastic! Singapore is also on a steady rise. They are now at 95%. In 2015, Nigeria is still at 60%. Singapore has moved a step higher again to 97%. Now, the highest we've recorded so far was in 2018, where Nigeria had 62%. Singapore still maintained its 97%, and then the most recent I got for this was in 2009, where Nigeria recorded 60% again, and Singapore still maintains its 97%. What this means is almost every adult in Singapore has a level of qualification. They can read and write. By the way, we have countries like North Korea that it is said that they have 100% literacy rate in that country. Every adult 15 years and above can read and write in that country. Wow. I also decided to look at the budgets on education for both countries, Nigeria and Singapore. Like I said, it's very, very difficult to get details in Nigeria about facts and figures of things, especially that happened in the past. So I couldn't quite get the details as at the time I was doing this. However, what I can say is this. UNESCO has recommended that a nation's budget should commit at least 27% of the national budget to education. 27% of its national budget to education. In Nigeria's 2017 budget, Nigeria budgeted 56 billion naira to the education sector, which represented about 6% of the annual budget of about 7.3 trillion naira in 2017. Let's look at what happened in 2020. In 2020, Nigeria budgeted 671 billion naira to the education sector. This represented 6.7% of the over 8 trillion naira that was budgeted in the Nigerian economy. This falls way short of the 27% recommended by UNESCO to be spent on education. Interestingly enough as well, in this same 2020 budget, 120 billion naira was set aside for the legislature, House of Reps members, the Senate, and all of that. So, in this country, we have estimated to spend 120 billion naira for about 1,000 people. Put all the senators and all the House of Reps members together. And then we expect to spend about 600 billion naira, which is just about 5 times the size of that, on over 100 million people in the education space in Nigeria. What a nation. I remember a meeting I attended, and Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, who was one time the educational minister in Nigeria, was relating some of her experiences while she was in office. And she said she could go to a particular state just to see how education was running in the state. And she goes to the office of the permanent secretary, and everything was looking very decent, very nice, good air conditioning system, good power supply, good environment, and things were working very well. But then she lives there and goes to the classrooms in the same state, and she sees a very dilapidated condition. There are no roofing shades, the children are sitting on the floor, and everywhere is in chaos. And she's wondering, the reason why that office was set up was so that the main beneficiaries of the education, which is the children, can get the dividends of the money given to them. However, this money was benefiting more of those in the offices, but the main beneficiaries were suffering in the classrooms. What a country. Speaking about UNESCO, United Nations came up with what was called the Sustainable Development Goals. The Sustainable Development Goals. So what are the Sustainable Development Goals? These goals are a blueprint to achieve a better and a more sustainable future for all. That's what these goals are. What are these goals we're talking about? There are 17 of them. Number 1 on that list is no poverty. So the field for us to have sustainable development in the world, we need to ensure that we eradicate poverty in the world. Number 2, zero hunger. Zero hunger. We need to reduce the amount of hunger we have, the people that are starving from hunger and starvation in the world, to be able to achieve sustainable development. Number 3 on that list was good health and well-being. Good health and well-being. For those that are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this addresses the most basic needs of the human existence. Now, take a look at number 4, quality education. Quality education. That's how important education is for sustainable development. So, what did they say about quality education? Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Remember, this is by UN. And number 4, it says, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So the question is, what is quality education? What is quality education? Earlier, I talked about a meeting I was where Dr. Obi Ezekwesili was talking about her experience as an education minister. In that meeting as well, she gave her own example of what quality education should be, and she called them the 3 C's. Let us take a look at them. The first on that list was competence. Now, what is competence? Competence is the ability to do something successfully or efficiently. The ability to do something successfully or efficiently. That is what competence is. It is also known as a cluster of related abilities, commitments, knowledge, and skills that enable a person or an organization to act effectively in a job or situation. I'll take that again. It says it is a cluster of related abilities, commitments, knowledge, and skills that enable a person or an organization to act effectively in a job or a situation. That is what competence is. Also, competence indicates sufficiency of knowledge and skills that enable someone to act in a wide variety of situations. So there are 2 keywords we have here, common to the different definitions we have looked at. Number 1 is knowledge. Number 2 is skills. Now, in terms of knowledge, for those that are familiar with the Bloom's Taxonomy, let us take a look at what the Bloom's Taxonomy has to say about knowledge. What is the Bloom's Taxonomy? The Bloom's Taxonomy was created to promote higher forms of thinking in education. That is what the Bloom's Taxonomy is. The Bloom's Taxonomy was first birthed in 1956. However, it was revised in 2001. This is what it looked like in 2001 after it was revised. At the very bottom of the scale, what we have is remember. Now, in the previous edition of the Bloom's Taxonomy, what we had there was remember, which is the very first basic level of understanding of a child. So you have higher other forms of thinking like understanding, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So we need to ensure that quality education enables our learners to be able to get to the highest peak of the taxonomy, which is to create. I can't go in details about that right now. However, I have a course entirely on the Bloom's Taxonomy. Look out for that. Now, when we looked at competencies, two keywords came up there. So we looked at knowledge, and then we also looked at skills. So when we're talking about skills, have you ever heard of the 21st century skills? The term 21st century skills is generally used to refer to a certain core competencies such as collaboration, digital literacy, critical thinking, and problem solving that advocates believe schools need to teach to help students thrive in today's world. There are 12 of them divided into 3 groups. The first category are called the learning skills. The learning skills, and it has 4 skills there. We have critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. These are popularly called the 4 C's of learning. So these are the 4 skills under the learning skills. Now, the next category, we have the literacy skills. The literacy skills, it has 3 skills under that. It has information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. So the last set of skills we have is what we call the life skills. The life skills, we have 5 skills there. We have flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. So these are the 21st century skills. Once again, I can't go in detail into 21st century skills here. I have another course as well on the 21st century skills. You might want to look out for that for more of this. So we've looked at what competency is in terms of knowledge and in terms of skill. So the next quality of education we're going to be looking at is capacity. Capacity. So what is capacity? Capacity refers to the maximum amount that something can contain. That is what capacity is. Capacity can also be referred to as the total amount that can be contained or produced, or especially of a person or an organization, the ability to do a particular thing. That is what capacity is. I have another definition of capacity here. It says, capacity is the specific ability of an entity, so either a person or an organization, or resource measured in quantity and level of quality over an extended period. That is what capacity is. In as much as we need to build the competence of the learners in our education system, we also need to ensure that we build the capacity in our education, because if we do not have the capacity, they won't be able to sustain the requisite competence needed. Imagine someone like Thomas Edison. If he did not have the capacity to stay there, he probably would have given up halfway. Imagine the Wright brothers as well. Despite all the oppositions they faced, they stayed there. It was because of the capacity that they had inside of them, they were able to come out with their airplane today. And today we have air flights all over the world. I believe it is a lack of capacity that makes our children go into an examination hall and decide to cheat. Because if they had the requisite capacity needed, it would give them the stay power to do what it requires for them to study hard, to be able to get into an exam hall and do the right thing to do well. So we need to ensure that we also build up the capacity of our learners. The last C of the quality of education that I'll be looking at here is character. So what is character? Character refers to the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. It also refers to the attributes or features that make up and distinguish an individual. So this is what character is. Another definition of character is it is the particular combination of qualities in a person or in a place that makes them different from others. These are several definitions of the word character. So, if we spend all our efforts and energy ensuring that our education teaches the children the right competence and also enhances their capacity, but leave out their character. We would have spent all our energy and time to create educated devils. This word character can also be interchanged with another word called values. Earlier on in this discussion, I talked about a man I met, which was Fela Durotoye, and a vision he shared with me. He came up with an idea on how he could achieve this vision, and he came up with a set of values. There are 10 of them, and he said to himself, if I can get every Nigerian to live by these values, then by the end of the day, I will be able to achieve this vision. What are these values we're talking about? Let's take a look at them. So these are the Gemstone values. I'm going to try to personalize them. Number 1, it says, I will value time and make the best use of it. Number 2, I will care and show respect through my words and my actions. Number 3, I will make a positive impact on everyone I meet and everywhere that I go. Number 4, I will be a solution provider and not a part of the problem to be solved. Number 5, I will be a role model worthy of emulation. Number 6, I will be my best in all that I do, particularly the things that I am naturally good at. Number 7, I will do the right thing at all times, regardless of who is doing the wrong thing. Number 8, I will consciously build a great legacy, starting now, today, and every day. Number 9, I would live a life of integrity and honor. And number 10, I will make my family, my nation, and my God proud. So these are the Gemstone values. And like I said earlier, he said to himself, if I could get every Nigerian to live by these values every day, by this character every day, we would have ensured that at the end of the day, we achieve that vision. So someone might be wondering, I have talked about so many things so far. How do all of these things add up? Let's take a look at something. Remember, we started off with the vision. The vision. What is the vision? To ensure that by Wednesday, the 31st of December 2025, Nigeria will be one of the most desirable nations in the world to live in. Now, for us to be able to achieve this vision, what do we need to do? If we can increase the GDP of the nation, then we will be able to achieve this vision. How can we increase the GDP of this nation? What that means is every individual in the country needs to be able to earn more money. So for us to do that, we need to increase the earning power of every Nigerian in this country. So we looked at a study that compared the earning power of Nigerians with their educational qualification. So what that means is for us to increase the earning power of Nigerians, we need to increase the literacy rate of Nigeria. For us to be able to increase the literacy rate of Nigeria, we need to ensure that we give the children quality education, which is number 4 out of the 17 goals of sustainable development put together by the United Nations. What are the qualities of this education? Remember, we looked at 3 qualities. We looked at competence, we looked at capacity, and then we looked at character. Who are the people going to deliver this quality education? Yes, you and I here, the educators. We need to be the ones to go and deliver these quality educations to the world out there. How are we going to equip the educators to ensure they have the requisite knowledge and technical know-how to be able to deliver this kind of quality education? That's where Taysey Consult comes in. That's why all of this has been put together. Let us try and reverse all of this and start from the end. So, Taysey Consult was put together to be able to equip the educators with technical knowledge and know-how to be able to deliver quality education. Because if we can deliver quality education to Nigerians, we will get to increase the literacy rate of the nation. So if we can increase the literacy rate of the nation, by default, we would have increased the earning power of Nigerians as well. If we increase the earning power of each individual in Nigeria, collectively would have increased the GDP and the per capita income of Nigeria. Now, if we can successfully increase the per capita income of Nigeria, then we will be on the right track of ensuring we receive that vision, which is to make sure that Nigeria is one of the most desirable nations in the world to live in by Wednesday, the 31st of December, 2025. That's why all of this has been set up. That's what guides and governs everything we do here at Taysey Consults, and that's why you are here watching this today. Before I go, I'll leave you with a quote from Nelson Mandela. And it says, "Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world." Are you ready to change the world? Thank you for being a part of this, and join and partner with us in Taysey Consults as we use education as a tool for societal transformation. Bye-bye.